If the only time that you're training your dance is when you take that class once or twice a week, you're not really being efficient with your training. Let me tell you why. Class is about an hour and a half long. In our case, it's about 3 hours long, but that's a different story. It's an hour and a half long, and the choreographer either gives you some choreo. Certain classes you go to, they just drop choreo and they don't really give you, let's just say, the names of the fundamental movements, like Monsell would call it. Let's say the party moves or whatever, right? You don't know what to look up when you go home. That's one. And even if they do give you what you need to work on, you are only working on it in that hour and a half. And maybe that one move that's not in your vocab, you're working on it for 10 minutes max. When you go home, take that movement from class or any other place that you're seeing it and you put the work in outside of the studio. That's when actual growth happens. There's other benefits to doing this at home too. Let's say you take a class and I'm showing you how to go down into position 0. You realize on your way down to position 0 that you can't really stay there for too long, or you can't get there too long without injuring yourself because your hamstrings and quads may be too tight. I noticed that and I tell you, hey, your hamstrings and quads are a little too tight. These are things you can do to, help you open up those hamstrings and quads and, get that ankle flexibility as well to be able to stay in position 0, right? But if you only do it for the 15 minutes in class and you never do it again, you're not going to get it quickly enough. You're just going to come back to class and I have a position 0 move in every class, and every time you're going to struggle with it. So when people talk about dance training, a lot of the younger students, generally, they consider that taking a class. Some even want to move. Some are like, oh man, I wish I was in LA. I could be taking all these classes, and I wish I was in New York and I was taking out. You can be anywhere in the world you want and still not grow because you are not putting in the time outside of the studio. You don't need to be in LA. You don't need to be in New York. When you're starting off your dance career, no. I mean, maybe there's benefits to, getting in visibility for the industry and stuff. But for dance training, you can be exactly where you are, at least when you start off. You're not getting specialized here. You can start, and when you get to a point where you're like, yeah, you've outgrown the community, and that's going to come after a very long time, then you can consider moving to wherever you want to train under, let's say one of the OGs, for example. But initially, you have no excuses. You don't need to move anywhere. You can train on your own if you take the classes or if you have a mentor who tells you exactly what to work on. I really suggest everybody to get a dance mentor. I have a few. If you don't have one, we can talk about it, because that is the quickest way to grow. And no, it's not that expensive. It's not that expensive to get a dance mentor. For what you're going to get out of it, wasting all your time and money in those choreography classes that you're taking, that's not giving you much value. The right mentor is going to push you towards the path to success. So that's why you cannot be calling training going to class. Training is not only going to class. It's a very small component of it. It's what you put in after class on your own time.